What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Cool Boy Kev, aka Kev Too Real, aka Kev Too Go. And today I'm gonna just be talking to y'all about cycles. Cycles. Like what I'm referring to more specifically is like habits and like tendencies that people have that seem to remain consistent in their life. You know, and I can attest to that. Through my lived experience. Trying different things to fix some issues that I have or a habit I'm trying to break, and it seems like nothing's working, and I'm always in the same spot. I just wanted to talk a little bit about that today, and I wanted to use some examples from my life, from my lived experience that, I don't know, maybe some people can relate to. So the first thing I want to talk about is going through the same thing over and over again is hard mentally. Your mind, it's like just like your body. You gotta work it out. You gotta condition it. And that conditioning doesn't always feel good. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be painful. But just recognizing some of the challenges that come with trying to like build yourself up and better yourself. That's important. And it's okay to feel those type of struggles. It's okay to feel that. Feeling frustrated and feeling like, man, this isn't working. Like that's fine. That's more normal than anything. But I would say recognizing like the smaller progress points. Like, I don't know, maybe you reacted, maybe you have a problem with your anger and you reacted to one situation differently, in a more calm manner that you would have previously exploded at. Even if it's something small like, oh, I dropped this, or you know what I'm saying, oh, I accidentally bumped into this person. Like that's a win right there. And recognizing those small wins, that's extremely important. You know what I'm saying? I would say, I'll put it in terms of a painting. A painting starts off with a sketch. It don't start out beautiful. So just recognizing the foundation that's being built, and giving yourself credit for the small wins. That's important. A marathon isn't one in a step. It's a combination of many steps to get to the end goal. So, congratulate yourself. Even on the little small things, pat yourself on the back and motivate, and use that to motivate yourself, to fuel yourself, to keep you going. That's critical to remaining consistent, to being disciplined, to staying determined. So just recognizing the small wins at the end of the day. I feel like that's the key to overcoming the mental hardship that self-improvement can bring to the table. Yeah. That kind of feeds into my second point, which is it's easy to beat yourself up, especially when you're not seeing the progress that you thought would happen when you was going into it, or when you expecting things to be on a fast track, but it just doesn't look like how you pictured it in your mind. Like it's real easy to kind of tear yourself down and destroy your self-esteem if you do that. And I just want to let you know that you're not alone in that struggle when it's just you versus you. You know what I'm saying? The third point that I would say about breaking cycles. That's what this video is about. It's about breaking cycles. Dang, I didn't say that. But yeah, the third point I have about like cycles and breaking them is to find help and do things that improve your mental. So finding help, what that could look like is you reaching out to a friend, you reaching out to family, somebody you can confide in, even a therapist, trained professionals. They do. Trained professionals, they know how to react to these situations, these certain situations, and like help you recognize where you're going wrong, but also where you're going right. So that's a good resource. And friends, they don't always like. If you have trouble making friends, that's fine too. Me, I used to be very antisocial. I mean, like I still don't talk to people now, but I'll use an example from my own life. Like, I used to be very antisocial. I wouldn't talk to nobody, and I would just be on the game all day. This is back when I wouldn't talk to nobody. Like, I just play the game like all day, like 10 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of my escape from reality, from all the issues I was dealing with at the time. You know, and I met this one of my good friends today through video games. You know, online multiplayer. Man, we known each other for like going on 7 years. Like we've been friends for like 7 years, and we helped each other through shoot, addictions, helped each other through depression, anxiety, girl problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, the list could go on and on, man. Like, but I just say that to say that your help may look different from somebody else's in terms of what you feel comfortable with. You know, what suits you best at the time. You know, people say find help. You don't always gotta like, walk up to a random person to put yourself like in an uncomfortable position right off the bat. Like, nah, you don't gotta do that. It could be you could find help within your space, somebody who's reliable, and if not, shoot. I found one of my best friends and one of the best people that I can confide in through online video games. And nowadays, we got the internet, so you can just go on, I don't know, like Twitter. You can find somebody on Twitter, start talking. You can go to like subgroups on Facebook, for example. I'm not sure if people still use Facebook like that nowadays, but yeah, you can do that. Like, try out different things. Try finding like certain groups of people that are maybe dealing with the same issues as you to confide in, and maybe they can give you advice or like even just hear you out. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the times, growth is happening when you find somebody who can listen to you. You know what I'm saying? Just getting it off your chest, that's like half of the battle right there. Getting all your issues like off of you and expressing everything that you mean, like, you know what I'm saying? All your traumas, all the reasons why you feel like this, you know what I'm saying? All the reasons why you feel like you're struggling. Like, that's half of the battle right there. So just finding those people. What's up, Heather? Come here. Yeah, she like, boy, I didn't know you was out here. What the hell going on? If you're hearing some like loud pattering, she's right there. She's breathing hard as hell. Right there, right here. Chill out now. But the second thing I wanted to talk about on that note is to do things that improve your mental. You know, for some people, working out is their thing. You know, them endorphins that come from lifting weights or going on a hard run where you're running like a lot of miles, hella miles, or sprinting, you know what I'm saying? That improves their mental. For some people, that could be dancing, that could be yoga, you know, but finding that outlet to, or that thing to do to improve your mental health, like, that's really, really important. Because not only will it relieve the stress, but it'll improve your quality of life. Like, it'll just make you happier, you know? One thing I did, like, specifically to change my thought process mentally and to make me, at the time, more patient and more present in each moment was meditating. You know, I was 16 years old, and one of my homeboys, he was just shot and killed, and this girl just broke my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was just going through a lot, and for a time, like, I was just doing whatever, you know what I'm saying, to take my mind off of it, or just to like make me feel better. Oh, and at this time, like, COVID just started, so I couldn't go out, like, you know, I couldn't like reach out to friends and go hang out and shit like that. They closed down the schools, so I was just stuck alone in my house most of the time, in my room, dealing with that. But one thing I found is like, it's just not to run. It's not to run from it. You know, I feel like, I don't know, we as people, and I could attest to this, like, when we feel something impatient, when we feel something like unpleasant, we just try to get away from it, even if it's with ourselves, you know, which is crazy, because, you know, you with yourself from the moment you're born to the day that you die. So you're never gonna be able to bury that, whatever it is, whatever thing you're trying to escape from, completely, because you gotta live in your body. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no 6 feet, ain't no social distance in that. You know, even if you do certain things, you're still gonna be faced with that. It's still gonna come back. You know, it's a cycle. I thought I was spitting, but yeah, it's a cycle, man. So one thing I learned to do was just not to run from it. You know what I'm saying? Was just to sit down and say, okay, I'm hurting from this, and I'm building up all these habits. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? For a time, I embraced that hurt. You know, I'd be like, damn, I'm hurting. I recognize that, and this hurt, it's mine. You know what I'm saying? Along with all the other good things that make me me. Along with maybe some of the bad things that make me me. All of that is mine. You know, it's mine to deal with. It's me, both the good and the bad and the ugly. You know. So what I started doing was I started meditating and working out more often. I got back into working out. You know what I'm saying? That was the first habit I built. And then at the time, how I got into meditating was I was watching this podcast. Some of the hosts on it were talking about meditating and like the benefits of it. I was like, let me try it. And I saw a lot of success from it. Like, it allowed me to really calm down and be present in the moment. Because when you're meditating, you're focusing on something like on one thing. You're focusing on one thing. It could be your breathing. It could be your heartbeat. It could be the sound of the fan. You know, a ceiling fan that's circling around. You know, but taking that moment to be present in where you are. You know, that's one of the benefits I learned from it. Another is it made me get to know myself better. With meditating, with focusing on that one thing, with focusing like really on your senses, really is what meditating is. Meditating is focusing on your senses. While you're doing that, you know, some thoughts are going to pass through your mind. It's unavoidable, you know. And the thing about it is you're supposed to just let those thoughts flow. A thought can come, it can go. You don't pay no mind to it. You just let it come and let it go. And then the thoughts that you have with that, like if you really, like while I was really trying to better myself, I was thinking like, man, I do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel anxious when people do this. You know what I'm saying? And that'll be a thought that passes through my mind and that flows along. And that like happened consistently while I was meditating. And those thoughts that you have while you meditating, like they really help you to get to know yourself better. You know what I'm saying? It's like healing. And that's the outlet that I found to improve my mental. You know what I'm saying? And kind of recognize some of the solutions or be aware of some of the habits that I make and why I'm making them, you know. The next talking point I like to talk about is to reflect on where you misstepped and why you felt the way you did. That's another point with meditating. Like meditating, you know, with having those thoughts passing through your mind, it allowed me to reflect on why I do the things I do, you know. So that was my thing that I did to reflect. Other people, they could journal. You know, journaling is great. That could come in the form of just taking a walk or sitting at a park and just, you know what I'm saying, hearing all the nature sounds, looking at, you know, different animals in the park, like if there's a pond, some ducks, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, you know. Just taking the opportunity to reflect on some of the habits that you want to break, you know what I'm saying, some of the things you're doing right. You know, that goes a long way. For me, that was meditating and that was journaling. So, you know what I'm saying? When you really put your thoughts on the paper, like your thoughts, that's you. You know, that's not nobody else but you. You take the time to read over it, read what you wrote, certain things that happened throughout the day and why they made you feel a certain type of way or how they impacted you. Like that could really open your eyes a lot as to like how you think. It'll work wonders, really. So that's something I did to reflect on where I misstepped and to understand why I felt the way I did, why I was doing the things I did, and recognizing some of the cycles that were going on in my life that I would like to break and kind of how to do that. So the next point that I would talk about in cycles and how to break them is trying to be present and aware constantly and to not get lost in your head. Like I already kind of touched on being present and aware. And as for not getting lost in your head, like sometimes when we get lost in our heads, we can be stuck on situations that don't reflect reality essentially. And one thing my therapist recommended me to stay present was to like taking what I'm looking at, you know what I'm saying? Like for example, you could look at like a blue shirt that I have on now. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that shirt is blue, you know what I'm saying? That brick is red, that leaf is green. You know, and that kind of like it helps you stay present into what you're actually experiencing in that moment, you know what I'm saying? And not get lost in the other thoughts. Cause I had bad social anxiety and I would just be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? This person think that of me, oh man, I suck, da da da. All these negative thoughts about myself. And to kind of stray away from that, I would just kind of take in what I was looking at. And she recommended that to me, and it did work. So that's one thing that I did for my life to kind of like break the cycle of getting lost in my head, you know. And then maybe that'll work for you, whoever's viewing this video. The next point I like to talk about is to change the little things first to better the bigger picture, like which is to improve your behavior and your headspace. So yeah, you know, in the little things that could be maybe waking up earlier, you know, or like as soon as you wake up, you go ahead, brush your teeth and wash your face. You don't pick up your phone, you don't scroll on Instagram, you know, you don't watch no show or YouTube video, you know, you just get up and do what you gotta do. Another example is to, as soon as I wake up, at times, it really depends on what is on my plate whenever I'm doing like. The first thing I would do is to work out, you know, sometimes, especially when I was an athlete in the morning, I would just wake up, work out, and then get ready for school, you know, head out. You know what I'm saying? That could be like 60 push-ups, that could be 80 push-ups and some squats or some sit-ups, crunches, you know. But that was something I did to start my morning off right and to be like, okay, today I'm gonna kill it, you know. And that could also look like waking up and praying, you know what I'm saying? Like thanking God for another day, you know what I'm saying, for the breath in your lungs, for the breath of life. You know, it could look different, but like changing the little things like positively. Yeah, so these are some of the things that like I found with cycles that could help and like recognize them and overcome them and just like be aware of some of the issues that you're dealing with, you know. So, I mean, I hope y'all like this video. It's my second video ever, you know what I'm saying? So if you did enjoy, hit the like button, I guess. Comment down below and subscribe too. Most definitely subscribe. All right, so peace.